What's up, everybody? It's McCollum Productions, and today we're going to talk about Henry Brown and his daring escape from slavery. Henry Brown was born in Louisa County, Virginia in 1815, and in the early parts of his life, he worked in a tobacco factory. His owner, John Barrett, was the mayor of Richmond, Virginia, but John died while Henry was still young and passed him down to William. So when Henry started living with William actually allowed Henry to have spending money, which is significant in the story later on. So Brown had met a wife who actually lived on another plantation, and his wife and him ended up having 3 kids, and she became pregnant with a 4th later on. But Henry was actually allowed to pay a fee to her owner to allow her to live with Henry at his plantation. Once Henry's wife Nancy was pregnant with her 4th child, she was sold off to a different plantation in North Carolina. And Henry remained in Louisa County, Virginia. So after this had happened, Henry decided he was wanting to escape from slavery, couldn't take it anymore. So he started trying to begin to formulate a escape plot to get out of there. He had came up with the idea that he would climb into a box and have someone he knew and trusted ship him to the north to a free area. So with half of all the money that he had, Henry bought a box that he would line with a green fabric on the inside to make it a softer, more comfortable ride. And he would have that box shipped to anti-slavery activists in Philadelphia. This box was 3 foot long, 2.5 feet deep, and 2 foot wide. So Henry paid to have his box shipped. On March 23rd, 1849, his 26-hour journey began. Throughout the journey, the box was handled roughly, and at one point, the box actually flipped upside down, and Henry was upside down in his box for hours, and he said he felt like the eyes were going to pop out of his head, and he had a terrible headache. Brown later published tales of his escape, which was a move that's criticized by a lot of people involved with the anti-slavery movement and the Underground Railroad, specifically Frederick Douglass himself, because he thought that he was giving up a way that they could have got other slaves out. After making it to the North, Brown began to speak at anti-slavery meetings where he gained the nickname Box. After the passing of the Fugitive Slave Act, that would have all escaped slaves that were caught in the North sent back to their owners in the South, Brown decided to leave the United States and go to England. While in England, Brown married a woman named Jane Floyd, who he had 2 children with, and he returned to the United States later on in life as part of a traveling magic act.